maybe you got that shiny new Lego set as part of, for the holidays or a birthday or some other special event, or just one of your, standard year-round hauls. You tore through it in a building frenzy, and you absolutely love it. Now you want to, now you want to put it on display. You want to find that perfect spot to display your new treasure. Like this nice 4+ construction loader. But you're out of space. Your display space is already packed, full of all your previous build. What are you gonna do? Now you have options. You can toss some of your older builds into the bin of forgotten sets, where they'll slowly break down and break apart and meld with all the other half-completed mocks and Star Wars mech builds you just bought for the minifigure, and it'll over the next 1,000 years. Or maybe you want to keep the sets all together, and you want to keep the side builds and the minifigures and everything together so that you can enjoy it again in the future.
If this interests you, stick around. Welcome to Clipsy's Bricks.
Today we're discussing how to store your Lego sets. I'm specifically talking about the sets that you've built, like this one, and you want to store away for a while, but maybe you want to, maybe you want to keep it together, or maybe you're going to want to free up some more space, because this does take up space even in storage, to condense some things. For this second scenario, I've personally employed a few different types of storage. This is my primary go-to, is one of these Sterilite bins. Fits a modular building quite nice. Usually you got to take off the third floor and the roof, but they easily pack in. A lot of times, if it's going to be longer term, I will pad this out with bubble wrap or foam or something. As some of you are aware, I've moved a couple times over the last few years, and this is kind of the method I had used for keeping together modulars, especially since I didn't know if I was going to have room in my new place or not, and just wasn't quite ready to break them all down. Now, after having moved this stuff more than once, I'm trying to condense my collection and trying to organize it. So although I find this is a great solution, especially for moving too, because it keeps, even if some things fall apart, it keeps everything contained in the box or in the bin. So if you have to do a little reconstruction, it's not that big a deal. Now though, I have reached a point in my life where I know with the new city, which you guys have seen the new update, I'm not going to use some of these earlier official modular builds. These are actually all the part outs I had done. Check the playlist if you're interested. So I'm breaking these down or parting them back out into their individual parts. And what I'm doing is bagging them by floor, and then keeping all the floor bags together. So sit back and you can watch this time lapse, and I'll show you what I've been doing. Got the bag. Need some brick separators and a bin. And here we go.
Now, this is obviously the ground floor of the town hall. I am also breaking down the fire brigade. Enjoy. Is it me, or is there something really satisfying about this?
And then minifigures and sensitive parts I'm bagging separately. So, like these earth green clips, they're pretty rare, so they're getting special treatment, as well as the printed tiles and parts and whatnot. Now there you have it. That is 4 modulars right there. One word of caution I would say is, especially with older sets, if you are taking them apart, especially anything that has old reddish brown or old brown or old dark red, that stuff can be very fragile. You want to be careful. I recommend a brick separator. I have to come clean, and I did lose one 1x4 plate in dark red on the fire brigade, which is ironic because that was a part out, so that should have been all new parts. But I guess I had an old Bertle red in there, and it did snap. And also with the fire brigade, I actually did leave the tiles and my Mills plate intact, just because I had made a somewhat custom one with some different plate levels. So I wanted to just keep that for when I rebuild this in the future. So what I've done here is I've basically broken these down all and bagged by floor. So there's fire brigade's got 3. The big gallon Ziplocs are really useful. Town hall, it's a bigger build, it had 4. And cafe corner, also bigger build, had 4. Now what I might do was like what I did here with Market Street, is then I took all my individual bags and I put it into one of these big 2.5 gallon Ziploc bags, just to keep everything contained. And these things, not a product placement, but these things are super useful, especially the size for bagging up sets. I highly recommend it. Yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, but they are very useful. And I think I probably will. I'm going to test it anyways. I'll probably rebag all these into a single bag, into the single larger bag, just to make everything contained. And there you have it. There's all 4 sets in one big bin, which is definitely takes up a lot less space than 4 of these bins. This is just for. This is the 27 quart or 26 liter Starlights. Cattail in the way, just so if you're curious. But they do fit generally one modular. Now I have Green Grocer here still left to break down, but once I do, it'll get bagged the same way and into the bin. Now I'm not saying this is the only way to store your Lego, but this is definitely one option. What do you guys do? Let me know. Maybe you got a better system. Love to hear it. Share in the comments below. And then, this is, I don't always break down every set, especially with smaller sets. A lot of times I will just put the smaller set into a Ziploc bag, and then it'll get put into a bin. And then what I'll do as a final thing is I will make a list of what is in each container. Especially what's great with these see-through bins is that if you put your list on the outs or inside, but on the facing out, you can then read really quickly of what is in that bin. Thanks all for coming by. A little bit different kind of video, but I think it's a topic that if you've been collecting Lego for any amount of time, it's definitely something that has probably come up for you or will come up in the future. As always, I super appreciate all the support from you, everyone, this channel, watching the videos, leaving the comments. Don't forget to tell your friends. We're on our way to even bigger and greater builds, which next video we will get back to something. But with that, thanks all. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all soon. Take care.